today we be coding and stuff. Yeah. Yesterday we played some OT rando. Probably continue that. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. Today though, we're diving back into the code. Right above me. Right above me. Right around me. It's all around me. And we have a lot to do before I can get this in playtesters' hands. One thing is playtesting levels, so there's plenty of streams where I've done that. Still got more to do. The other is mainly fixing bugs so that I don't get a whole lot of bugs given to me during playtesting. Like, well, I ran into this and I ran into that. So it's mostly for playtesting because a lot of these things are somewhat minor, but they can be annoying or jarring, or even potentially crashing if you run into them. So I want to get those done. Some of the feature stuff we'll probably be doing later, after the bug stuff, because if you're playtesting and something's not quite like as rich or as flashy or etc., that's okay. But the bugs are the main thing we want to tackle. So I'm actually going to go through our list here, and we are going to go through each of these things. I'll move this over a little bit. These. Ooh. And I'm actually going to add a column here. We'll unhide it. So there's priority and points. I'm going to hide priority because it's fine. The points are the thing. Actually, we can put in priority. We'll just make it a priority 1. If something that we want to do before playtesting. The points here, I put agile because in agile development, you create this point system. It's for teams to determine generally how long something will take. And right now, how many things do we have here? That pressed the wrong button. 16 quote-unquote things. And then the game's done. The list always expands. And essentially, the points will give us a better estimate of it. A lot of these bugs, I think, are pretty low-hanging fruit. Some of them I've just been ignoring because they've been so low priority in terms of getting features done or playtesting. But I think we want to move through and kind of set priorities. So 1 is the highest priority. I think lower than that is lowest. Points. And generally when you're assigning points, you're not supposed to assign hours to it. Now this is normally when you're doing an agile development, you're doing kind of like sprints, which are usually 2 weeks long. And generally, this is talking about people who are working like 40 hours a week. So you're trying to say, well, how many days of work? And you kind of start understanding how many points something costs. And that has to do also with quality assurance testing and stuff like that. Here, I'm just going to assign the higher the points, the longer it'll take. Like today, we're probably going to try to tackle 1 or 2 things that are maybe worth 1 point. So why don't we go through the rest of our things here and start assigning priorities. And this is basically the full, I think there might be some other stuff that I haven't written down, but I've been trying to be diligent about at least writing something down when we need to fill stuff out. So let's do that first. Fanfare and cutscenes when you complete a world. So we want there to be fanfare. So when you beat a world, it's like, yeah, you did it for the first time. Woo! And there could be some sort of fanfare. I don't have a lot of information here. This is a pretty low priority. It's definitely something that we'll want in the final version of the game. But in terms of playtesting, whatever. Like, I don't even know what I want to have. I don't know if it's going to be an animation, if it's just going to be like a little screen that says you did it, sound effects and stuff, so I don't know. We're going to put this a priority of 4. We can always go back and redo it. In terms of points, this doesn't seem that hard, but it does seem significant because you'll have to customize it based on the world. It'll be a brand new UI. The UI probably will be integrated in some sort of cutscene. There might be a summary of how well you did, so I'm not really sure. So I'm just gonna say an 8 seems like a lot, but I think this is mainly planning. I'm gonna put 5. That might be a little bit low. iOS phone to tablet implementation. We're gonna put 13. Now 13 might be low too. Generally, if something's higher than an 8, it goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. And I think there's like a 20. Once it gets up to 13 or more, you generally are cutting it into individual tasks. So for this, it's probably more like a 20. This is kind of like your whole doing it. So this is just a ton of stuff. Is it higher priority than fanfare stuff? Well, part of playtesting is I would love to have people to playtest on these devices. Probably not going to have people playtest on these devices. So I would put it roughly at the same priority, because we could probably do this, but I would put it a little bit higher. I'm still going to check something here. Before I move on. All right, cool. All right, so that's that. Next, have a way to clear all the save data. So we need some way to clear save data. That's tricky. One, we're gonna have to redo. I don't think I have it here actually. I'm just gonna create a new row. This is refactor where files are stored for levels. So level data is eventually going to have to come within the project. Right now it's also stored, I think, where save data is. Where save data is saved locally in your computer. Refactory. So doing the save data, technically this isn't that hard. You're just deleting a bunch of files. I don't think there'll be like a backup. I don't know, when games do this stuff, do they back it up? 5. I have the ability to, is this more or less important than fanfare? 4. Nothing's higher than a 3 yet. Refactor where the files are stored, that's a 5. We only need that basically when the game's about to be released. Actually, could people playtest the game? If I release a version of the game, I need that for it to work. This is more like a 2. And I might have to turn... Yeah, okay. That's also a 5. None of these are easy. Sometimes you clip through a brick at the very beginning of the level if it's right below you. We did a lot of updates on looking at the clip logic. There's one whole stream where basically that's all I was doing. It might have been 2 streams. And this was something I couldn't replicate. Sometimes it happened. And there's only to restart the stream. It's gonna be one of those days. Come on, man. All I'm showing is an Excel doc. Let's see if it's still running. I mean, it is, technically. Alright. Anyway. I have no idea. I don't know how I could replicate it. I could just change the levels. We're going to put this priority at 6. It's real low on the list. In terms of figuring it out, 3. If you're in the adventure level menu, then go to the gauntlet. Wait, this is a bug. If you're in the adventure end of level menu, then go to the gauntlet one. The ordering is not reset, so nothing's highlighted. This is also happening when I finish a gauntlet run and start a new one. Alright, this one's not too hard. We'll say this one's a 2, and this is also a... we could do that one. This is a pretty simple bug. I'll make that a high priority. If the text of a level is too big, it overlaps with the timer in the menu. I already put in a fix for this, but still some levels are doing it. So this is a 1. We can figure that out. If you use the clear command in the command prompt, all the text goes away. I don't even know what clear does. When you press tab in the command prompt, it clears stuff. I don't know. This is a real low priority. This is an admin tool. We're going to put that at 6 as well. I'm going to make that a 2. Index out of range. Game crash. On high core scores sometimes. For gauntlet mode. Problem is this sometimes. That's the issue. The issue is the sometimes. Isn't that the thing? Isn't that a thing? I think it's definitely something I need to look into. So it's definitely a priority of 1. It might not be simple. I'm going to put a 2. Could be a 3. If you close the pause menu, and then you're at the end of a level, it will carry over and do whatever the next prompt was, like next level, without having to press A again. This is kind of an order of operations thing. Maybe we figure that out. Various art updates. Very helpful. Detail all of them. This is completely unhelpful. There's a ton of art stuff that needs to be implemented. I'm going to put that as a 20. It's just so unhelpful. And we'll put that at the same as iOS implementation. Here, this was a whole feature of the snapshot of level art. And we have a plan. To actually do this plan and execute it all, it's probably a 5. And priority, we'll just say... that's also like a 3. We got a couple more here. Get the back button working. Who cares? Who cares about the back button? It's actually be a little bit annoying because of how the ordering works. So I'll make this a 3, instead of 4. A tutorial you can view on the title screen. Need more details. I would love a tutorial. I kind of have a vision for just like a few, really just like a PowerPoint presentation kind of tutorial. Like I want it to be really basic. I really want you to just learn as you play. But I think something extremely basic could work. And I think the tutorial, not super straightforward with how I do it. I'll give it a 5. I don't think it's quite an 8. Between a 5 and an 8. And This is something I think would be nice to have for playtesting. I'm going to give it also a 3. Actually, I'll give it a 2. I think that would be nice to have. Pause menu or controls menu resume before level start. Start of the level. This is very similar to this one. So I think this is also a 2. Well, I think we could figure that out. When you have the options menu open, immediately go to the pause menu without closing options. Then choose the main menu. Because the options menu is still open, the text doesn't show. This one's going to be a little trickier. Is it 1 or a 2? I'll give it a 2. And achievements. We're going to need some information about that. We also might have an achievements menu and stuff, so I'm going to give that a 13. Those would be nice to have with 3s. Alright, so that's what we have this far. Let's go ahead and sort this stuff. By our priority. Priority and then points. Okay. So a lot of the highest priority ones are these bugs that are pretty easy to fix. Then we have some second level priorities like file storage, tutorials. The stuff for 3s is kind of like the big stuff that, like if I was going to do a lot of full play testing, more of a polished product throughout everything. The 4s are some stuff that's like, we need it eventually. And then I have 6s for here that I'm like, whatever, it's probably fine. No 5s. Alright, so we did a little bit of deciding what we're going to do. And I think what we'll do is just start at the top and work our way down. So, let's start with the first bug. If the text of a level is too big, it overlaps with the timer in the menu. Let's take a look at what that means. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and run the game. It is loading. Surely. Never mind, it's right here. It's loaded. Let's gotta change so it shows on screen. Where is it? Is this it? No. Yeah? No. Oh man, the game's... I didn't hear it, but the game's volume was totally coming through. I'm gonna mute the game. There we go. Oh, I just have to do this. Bada bing. Ooh, that's... That's not quite right. Make it smaller. There we go. There's the game. There's the there's the non-title screen that I've had forever. This is not going to be the title screen of the game. Ah, man. Okay. Let's go take a look at this bug. So, we need to choose a title that overlaps. So we need to choose one that's a little bit long. This one. Not even close. So we're looking up here where this title overlaps with this. Which is interesting because, like, I literally have... Like, what about just in reach? No, it's not even close. I had a bunch that was, like, doing it. I should have wrote which ones we're doing. Like here, see how you see that text that's getting smaller for chaotic blueprints? Like I already put in stuff to make it smaller. Now we just gotta find. Ooh, there we go. International Superhighway. So even there, that fits. I mean, we'll have to change the text. That's the thing that we haven't done. Oh, that's another thing, is I wanted the UI to be different for each world. Yeah, I wanted the UI to be different for each world. Gotta put that into. Let's go back and make another thing. Feature. We're just gonna put it down here. We've already sorted our stuff. I don't know. Feature of priority what? 4, 3, 3. I have no idea. We say we want change the UI and the color scheme depending on the background image and the world you're in. Alright, let's just knock down. Okay, apparently that's not saved at the right place, but we'll ignore that. Alright, so the first thing we're looking at is this text. I thought it was overlapping with this, but it's not. What text was doing it? Was it one that had like a lot of spaces in the text? No. I definitely saw it. This one? Nope. Nani? Ah, it looks pretty big. I don't remember. It's got a lot of spaces. I literally have something in the game to prevent this from happening. But I wrote it down again. Because I saw it. Which one was it? It's not even close. Was it in gauntlet mode? Oh, that's what it was! Alright. I remember. So if I go to the main menu, in gauntlet mode, you have this bonus, this thing. That's what it was. So this shows you how much bonus time that you've accumulated while you're playing gauntlet mode. So I was trying to get the text to fit in this space, but now I have an extra stuff. That is on the left. Oh. That stinks. Well, how do we resolve that? Because, yeah, plenty of the text is going to seep over here. Because I was leaving room for the text to fill up, like, this area of the screen. Okay. So, in numerous parts of the game, we have logic where it shows stuff differently if you're in adventure mode or if you're in gauntlet mode. So, you know, even here, so much of this UI is different. It's including this bonus time, bonus seconds. There's a lot of stuff that's going on because it's in gauntlet mode. This text, not so much. But if I made the text super tiny, like, that'd be kind of silly. I'm not going to, like, word wrap it. You know, I could just change where this text is located on screen. I could, like, center it. The problem about centering it is that in boss levels, I use the bottom here for the boss health. I could have it down here. I could move up. Well, this is also this thing right where my face is. If I hide my face, camera. There it is. So this controls right here. That's intentionally put there so that when you're holding it like in a tablet, it's at the bottom of the screen, so you could hold it like this, or if you're holding a phone. So I don't really want to move this up. So I was thinking like the level could be down here. I don't even know if I'm going to show the level number like this. I'm just kind of doing that as a helpful tool for development. Now, one of the things that's true is I could have it at the very top of the screen. These buttons right here, this is all admin stuff. So this Lego icon is for level editing. And then this camera icon is for changing the camera, which I've actually disabled because I don't need to do that in this game. In the game that the code is based off of, there's a lot of moving the camera around. So I could put this stuff up some and just reorganize these things at the top. And that way it goes above this box. So if I go to Gala mode, I could easily just put it at the top. Now it's a little bit weird because so much of this stuff right now is just like, again, the UI could change, adapt, but at least it wouldn't overlap for now. And I could just kind of like have it like here. It's kind of a dumb compromise, but it's a compromise. I could also have it in the top right. I could also have it like at the very top and make this smaller. I don't really want to make all this stuff smaller right now though. You could also sort of like include it as part of the background. Or I could just ignore it until we have a better UI solution. I mean, I'm not like married to this final UI. This is all Josh art, Josh positioning. If I get like an artist to come in here, like we're moving all this stuff around. Like okay. Let's put it up here, see what it looks like. And then I could move these things down here. It wouldn't be terrible. Let's do that. Let's do a thing. Okay, so I'm gonna show VS again. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in on this so it's easier to see for all of us. We're gonna go to the hood class. I'm actually gonna close. I have so many things open right now. I'm just gonna close all these things. I'm gonna go to the hood. And we're gonna go down to where that is being drawn, so we can go to the draw method. Yo. Draw. And I think it's here. So much stuff commented out from so many times. I never delete anything. Good coding. Here we go. Here's the level name, right? And we know this is the level name because if I commented it out, we'll see that there's no level name. Oh, I'm doing SQL. There you go. Oh, come on now. Shut the front door. And we can just continue. And there you go, no level name. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move it up here to where the number is. Move it up a little bit, and then our second update is we're gonna move these icons a little bit lower. And this is just for level editing. These things could literally be anything. They could be anywhere, because this is not gonna show for the people playing the game, because that's just super admin. Don't give the players that ability. Okay. So here, let's just pause it. And you can see we're doing this font size stuff depending on how long the character name was. I thought I was super clever. I was like, it all fits. I don't have any level names that are that small. But I don't want to make like the highway like tiny little thing. Oh, it's Dan. Hey Dan. It's like watching Kevin Flynn code the grid. Hello. We don't even need the level ID, but where is it? Best time. It's got to be here somewhere, right? The name. Where did I put the ID? You know. So I was like seeing I was just looking at Disney Plus the other day because I was watching like the Percy Jackson stuff, and it was like, oh, that Tron new movie is out. And I was thinking, still don't want to watch it. I have to be in a real mood to want to watch that movie. Like, this is gonna be really bad, but it's also really Tron, so like, rank, where's the level number? Level name, font size. I watched it with the strong beer and mozzarella sticks after a long week. What is your rating out of I thought it's really by 9 Inch Nails. Alright, we're looking for 17. It should be called the current level here. I'm going to show you something cool you can do. It's called Control Find. Right there. Is there anything above here? Yes. It's all commented out. Where? Uh-huh. We'll find it. Oh, there it is. Why did I put it all the way down here? All right. Let's put it up by the other thing. Okay. Let's do this too, so we can all see it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move it up a little bit. That's all. That's all we're doing. What if we say 16? This one's at oh. Wait. 80. Oh, because it's a different font size. So the interesting things about fonts, so we're just going to save this. So when you're rendering a font in game, so this font right here, 70, is saying it's at 0 in terms of 0 in the Y direction going down. So you might be asking, then why is there all this space above 17? Shouldn't the text align? Well, fonts naturally have space around it. which is why it actually is rendering not right at the edge, but right here. Give Tron a 7 out of 10 on the enjoyability scale. It's a Tron movie. Great music and visuals, mediocre writing, Matrix level attempts at philosophizing about technology and humanity. Only if it was done by middle schoolers instead of college freshmen. Yeah, that sounds about right. That makes me want to watch it now, actually. All right, so we're gonna move this over a little bit and make the font slightly less. Also, the beer was very strong. Yeah. That sounds like a good evening. Okay. So why don't we make, what's our font size here? This. We'll just make this a 0 as well. And we're going to move this over 120. This is just a reference point for me too. It really doesn't need to be anything. See what this looks like. There's a lot of just trial and error. This is why this is a 1 in terms of there you go. So this would not, that even looks okay. So if this kept going and it was really long, it'd be right above this. You can see go, oh wait, I'm not showing it. Stupid. See, just put a little ruler there and go toot 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 just above it. The 17 annoys the heck out of me though. So we're gonna change that quickly. I'm surprised it's still like that. We'll just make this 24. And I think that's pretty much good in terms of moving this stuff. So now we have these buttons. I don't really feel like clicking on like this and have it overlapping. Again, if we're playtesting, these things aren't going to show. When I ship this to be playtested, I'm going to hide the ability to edit the levels. But we can move them down anyway so they don't overlap. So that is, these are just rendering in the level editor. So we're going to go to that class now. So over here, let's close this. Level builder. This class is huge. It's probably the biggest class in the game. All custom written. But a lot of this is for the other game that this code base is pulled from as a basis. So we're looking for, I don't even know what these things are called. We're going to go to the draw method too. Should be somewhere near the top. Is it this one? Toggle button? Probably. No, the toggle button, I think. Well, we can try it. Why don't we just do a little test? Because the level builder class or level editor class is called level builder, is so big, it actually struggles when you make dynamic updates. So like when I did this in the hood and made dynamic updates by pausing and restarting the solution, easy peasy lemon squeezy, it just starts up right again. But because the level builder needs to be kind of recompiled on the fly, and it's so freaking big, this might not work so hot. The help button's already not being shown. Here's the free camera button. We actually don't need this right now either. But this is just a test. See if this even does it. All right, it does. All right, totally wasn't the top. Opa! Okay. That's fine. Of course, I'm not showing it. Here's this. So when I click it, it goes away. That's because there's, I think, a state of toggled. So here you can see there's an inactive button and a button. And up here what we did is we had the toggle button dot draw. There must be a like inactive toggle button or something. Not the help button. Here you go, toggle button inactive. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have free camera button and free camera button inactive. And we have toggle button and toggle button inactive. And all we need to do is move those down a little bit. Increase the Y direction. So we're just gonna, this stuff's being set, unlike stuff in the hood, which was dynamically or hard-coded, kind of putting in where the position was. This stuff's position is being set in the load content menu right here. So here in initialize, instead of having it at 8, we can just move it down a little bit. We'll make it at 32. Same for our toggle button inactive. For that's being set. I think that's being used. Yeah, the toggle button bounding box. Okay. And these are also using. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna make this 32 as well. Right here. Okay. So let's go take a look at what it looks like. And let's go hide Visual Studio. Thank you. Okay. It doesn't work. Why? It's supposed to be moved. Hello? Oh, so I initialized it, and then I'm resetting its position here. Why? You know, sometimes you make decisions long ago. That's it. I just keep making those decisions. That's for future Josh's problem. Okay. There we go. Look at that. It's above. It's a little bit off. Whatever. Let's go to the gauntlet menu. There you go. We could even move 17 down like a little bit if we wanted, just so it's a little bit aligned. But again, I'm probably gonna be hiding that or changing it to be like, so in the menu, oops, that. Here we show the levels as like 1-4, 1-12. Like that's probably what we'll be showing. We're not gonna be showing, you know, 5-4 is level 68. 68 is very helpful though for level editing, because when I'm saving a level, I have to save it as that ID, because that ID is the reference for the level, which is then encrypted and stuff into a key. All right, easy game, easy development. I'll just say this is done. If the level text level is too big, it overlaps. Well, we moved it. Done. Okay, next up. If you close the pause menu, and then you're at the end of a level, it will carry over and do whatever the next prompt was, like next level, without having to press A again. Okay. So let's show this off. So, for example, we'll just beat a level. So we'll just do this, get to the end of a level. Pew, pew. We'll be very sad that we got like a C rank or whatever. All right, B. So we could click next level. If I open the pause menu right now, here's the pause menu. I could go in here and say, hey, do whatever I would like. Oh, by the way, that's kind of fun. It shows the the last explosion there. And I could like say resume. However, when I press enter on resume, what's going to happen is it's going to use that same enter push onto the next level prompt when I click enter. And that's what we don't want to do. So we don't want that enter command propagated into the next button press. Why is that happening? Well, why don't I beat this level? This is also a 10-second level, and we'll show why. And we'll have to come up with a solution to fix it. Oh, we got a D. Okay. So, the game is running on a loop. And as the game's running on a loop, it's going through all of the updates. Basically, every frame, it's going through all of the update menus in a loop, and the update menus that are being called. So it's only choosing what updates to call, depending on where you are in the game and all these sorts of other things. It's calling the draw methods, I think 1 every 7 frames or something like that. It calls draw less frequently, because it's a more expensive operation to do that, to draw stuff to the screen. Now, during this loop, when I pull up the pause menu like this pause menu, I think is before the end of level menu in the loop. When I press enter, or to really do any command, right now I'm using a keyboard, you can use a controller as well. When you say, hey, do a thing, it's going to run through that loop and see enter command to be used multiple different places potentially in the loop. You have to specify, hey, something has already been pressed, therefore don't press it again. Or maybe you say, hey, you pressed enter at this point in time, this triggered another variable. So later on that variable can say, hey, you already pressed enter, this isn't for you. And by this isn't for you, like this menu isn't for you, or this method shouldn't be called. All that being said, let's take a look at the pause menu. This should be a pretty easy fix. And I've had to do this a lot, usually with menus. So, pause menu. I think it's in menus. Here's our pause menu. And we're going to go down, and right here is where it's happening. And we are looking at if enter is pressed. And this is what's happening right here. So right now, the pause menu is checking to see if enter is pressed, or if exit's pressed. If either one of these is pressed, it's going to toggle the menu. That's all well and good. We see that the pause menu is turning off. So whatever is happening here is happening. So for example, if I clicked backspace on the toggle menu, probably nothing will happen, because on the other menu, I don't think anything happens when you click backspace or back. So for example here, if I click back, nothing happens here, because if I click back here, there's nothing that's telling backspace doesn't do anything in this menu. So that works. However, enter does do something in this menu, and that's the problem. So if we go back to Visual Studio, and we see this enter command right here. Sorry, I scrolled past it. Is control pressed? So I have something in game controls that says, is checking, hey, is control pressed? If it's enter, do it. Now pressed is a one-time command. There is something called is control down to see if you're holding down a button or a key. This is a press. It's a boop. Now what else is checking is control pressed? Well, it's the end of level menu. And we'll pull up that as well. So this one we can just look for the words next level. Let's look for next level. Oops, that was not the right command. There it is. Next level. Boop. Come on now. Really? I'm pretty sure it was in here. Maybe not. Actually, no. This isn't the hood. I'm looking in the wrong place. Just kidding. Why do I keep pressing Windows F? Next level. There we go. And this is what's being clicked here. If game controls is pressed, enter, do this stuff. So the issue is that this is being called as well. And why is that true? Well, now we need to look at the main update method of the whole game. And that's here. So we're going to go down to the update method. I think. I think. There it is. Okay. So down here, we have a whole bunch of if statements that say, hey, if you're in this part of the game, go ahead and update. So much of the game is dictated about what the game state is for what ought to be running. So what we have right here is we have like the title screen, new game sequence, even at the very beginning when the logo shows when the game starts up, we can turn that on and off or decide whether to show that. And if we do, it's just going to run this one class that basically runs the video. Now if we go down further, here this is all these conditions for whether we're going to show the menu handler. The menu handler handles a bunch of menus like the pause menu. However, there is also, I think further down, the hood. So where is the hood? Hood. I went back up to the top, huh? Really? Where's the hood being drawn? I think the hood is being updated. It's definitely not down here. We want to look for where this is being updated. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. This update. So we can right click on it, which you can't see unfortunately. And we can find all references. And oh, it's being called from the level. It sort of makes sense. So the core level, basically this core level class, which is rendering everything within the level itself. Again, this is based off of a different code base. There's way more in here than is necessary for this game. It's finally calling the hood, and it's updating it. So if we go into the game 1 class and say, well, where is the level itself being updated, we can go ahead and hide all this stuff for all these menus. So many different of these. Here's the core level. It's saying, hey, if the game state is this, go ahead and update it. And it ought only to update it if the active menu is none. So, theoretically, and this is why normally this would work, if I go ahead and hide this, and I go in here, naturally, the level is not updating right now. We're just updating the pause menu. So if I go to say, well, any one of these is going to exit out of the pause menu. But if I like opened up the options menu, which is similar, and I go to change the audio here, all this is muted right now. But all of this stuff is not affecting the other stuff in the game. Similarly, if I would go to controls, I'm just changing the controls. This isn't affecting the level. I bet the options menu would do the same thing. So if I click resume here with enter, it's going to turn off the menu. So if we go and show this, once it turns off the menu handler active menu will be none. Because if we go to our menu handler class, and scroll down, right here we can see we have our pause menu, our controls menu. The options menu in the code is just called the controls menu. And if we see toggle menu, what happens when you toggle it? Well, it goes from active to inactive. And it says, hey, if it's not active, do this. We're going to close it, and we're going to set it to none. Now, because this is happening, this update is happening before this base update, when you click enter, the order of operations is first, it's going to go to the menu handler. It's going to identify, hey, we're going to resume what we're doing. But that enter command is still in the game. It's still propagating through all this. It's going to get here, because when you clicked enter, all of a sudden it toggled the menu off. It's now going to use that same enter press command, go to the core level update, in which case it's currently doing the UI, and in the hood, I mean, not the UI, it's going to propagate it down through this and eventually hit what we saw, which was the next level. And do this. So that's why it's happening. So how do we fix it? How do we fix it such that I can prove here in the options menu, if I click enter, it does the same thing. Well, what we need to do is say something along the lines of, in this case, don't do it. in not so many words. So we don't want you to do it now. Please don't. Thank you. Now, how do we do that in code? Let's go and take a look at the hood. So here, when is this menu even open in the hood? The menu is open, if we scroll up a little bit. We're during a cutscene right now. There's actually a cutscene going on. It's a pretty quick cutscene, but it's doing a whole bunch of different things, such as saving the results of the level and doing a whole bunch of things in order before it actually shows like that end of level screen, which we see right. Well, we don't see it anymore. Let's get it to show. Let's just play this level. Bop, 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 bop. Ah! 0.15 seconds from S rank. All right. So here's our end of level screen. Winner, you did it. we go to here and look at the top, we have this else, which is doing all this stuff. And we have this if. So what we have here is the current level state, and we're saying if it's the level n sequence, right here. Otherwise, if you're playing, do all this stuff. And then there's some stuff that's just always happening. A lot of these are booleans, like, hey, if the combo is going, show this. So we're in the level n sequence right now. And then here it says, hey, depending on the mode that you're in, do different stuff. Showing stuff based off of if it's level failure, it's going to show certain things. Well, we didn't fail, we won. So we're going to go in here, and it's doing a whole bunch of things about segments. And again, it's saving stuff. And eventually we get down to here, where we're actually going to use a prompt as we're going through our options. Now, it could be that we're going to be in the next, but say if we're hovering over something else, so say we were hovering over restart, it would do the same thing. So if I went here, I'm fine with that, and we clicked enter, it's just going to do the same thing. The enter will be propagated. So here, I think there's something about the menu handler saying whether it's quite closed, or we could pause a frame, or here, I don't know. You kind of are thinking, well, should the hood know anything about the menu handler? The hood should know about the level. So right now the hood knows about the level. It's checking to see whether the level is in some certain kind of sequence. What state it's in. I think the hood really ought not to know about the menu handler. Like whether there's another menu open. This probably ought to be right here. The intent of the menu handler being active being none probably just needs to pause for one frame before that's true. So I think we're actually going to handle it in the menu handler class. So here, again, we have enter in our pause menu. But let's go to our pause menu. Pause menu enter is right here. It's toggling the menu. When it toggles this menu off, it's doing this. So how do we pause a menu? Sometimes there's ways where you can reorder the operations of things and saying, well, what if we just always updated the hood before updating the menus? Like, what if we just always updated the level information before we updated the menus? Sure, but then you could ask some other unforeseen consequences later. Like maybe you had something in the level that affected the pause menu. So you could just have a frame to say it is closing. What else could you do? You basically need a buffer instead of immediately saying the active menu is none. There's another thing you could do is that generally in the past, this is how I'm learning to code my autobiography, a video game autobiography. In the past, often menus would have some sort of animation associated with them. So you would only let the player kind of continue playing until the animation was closed. So for example, maybe a dialog box that opened up like an accordion and closed like an accordion. You could have something here where there could be a menu state where instead of it being none, it could be like closing. And I think we actually have some of those. The combats with your inner demons. So here we have some of these, like opening, closing. So technically, if we wanted to just give us a frame, instead of just immediately saying it's none, which then the very next check, it's going to close it with the here saying it's none. What we could do is for the pause menu here, we could set the active menu that instead of none, we could say that the menu state here is closing. Or we could say something like the active menu well, this is calling this menu. It's doing a one-time thing. Update. It's whether you're pressing things. Saying which one it is. Alright, we're gonna cheese this. What we're gonna do is basically let there be a command that says the active menu is closing, which essentially will require the active menu to be called one more time before it becomes none. So this is what we're going to do. Is we're just going to put this at the end of this. I don't even know why I have a line here. And we're going to say if the menu state is equal to closing, menu state is closed. So what this does, this gives a frame of time such that when you close a menu via enter, it won't trigger other enter commands in the level or hood in the same command. Using the same command. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to set the menu state to be closing. So therefore, when we click enter, it's going to be closing. It'll go down here in the game 1 class. It's going to be saying, hey, is it none? No. It's not none yet. Oh, wait. We also need to check to see that the menu state is closed. Yeah. And then that'll do it. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to go here. Let's do this. And then we'll say, and this dot menu state that closed. There you go. And then over here in the menu handler class, we already did our update here. So in the pause menu, and we're also going to have to do it in the controls menu. Open that up. Here, instead of saying the menu state is closed, we can say that, oh wait, this menu state is closed. I need to say this menu state is closed, but what we're gonna need to say is that the menu handler menu state closing. This is so jank. It's partly jank. All coding is a little bit jank. It's at that moment I was like, no, we do not want to work on a project with him. We want to go to the update method. Not the update method. This should be in the toggle. There we go. Right here. It should only happen here, actually. I think. Because you can go between the two menus, which makes this a little bit more complicated. What this is saying is if your last active one was equip or email, those aren't true anymore. It's going to do that. I think this will work. I think we'll have our one frame. Let's try it out. All right, let's hide this. Okay. So we'll just do this level again. We'll totally get S rank this time. Nope, messed up. It is very tight. All right, so we're going to open up the pause menu. And we're going to click enter. It didn't work. No. All right, let's make sure it's doing the thing. What does a reset do? Let's go to our menu handler. Class. And make sure it's actually doing this. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Uh-oh, our music stopped. We're all out. We're all out of jazzy beats. Chill beats. Mellow beats. Sure, go for it. So we are here. We're clicking enter. What is happening? Oh, I know what's happening. we need to put this before this. Because our pause menu is happening in here. It's updating. So what it did is it updated, it went there, and it closed it immediately. But now this is going to update, and then the next time around, it'll check this. I'm a genius. Do this one instead. Oh no, I messed up. No, my S rank. Not even close. We got the B. Okay. Now for sure. Click press enter. Boom! Pew, pew, pew. Bam. Over to escape. Click controls. Bam. Resume. We're back. That's a different issue. It didn't work when I went to this and then clicked this and then clicked enter and I clicked I. It didn't show anything because that flip-flop between menus is a different bug. Did I have that bug down? I just uncovered a new bug. This is exactly what I was looking at in the one part of the method too. Alright, we totally fixed this. Easy game. Easy game of coding. That's tricky. We're gonna need to create a new bug. Don't worry, this one's also easy. It's a 1. This is if you switch to the controls options menu after the pause menu, then press enter to go back to the end of level menu. Then press for the pause menu again. Nothing happens. First time. So it's a toggling issue. Yeah, kill one bug and another one appears. Oh, dang. Need to resave that. Alright. Well, we got 2 things done. I think we're going to call it a little bit early today. Because I have some video editing I want to do. There's a video I want to be able to release on February 1st, which is the second edited voice acting video with cartoons and stuff. So I need time to get that done. So we're going to end a little bit early today. We'll be picking back up, fixing bugs and stuff, probably tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know when I'm going to continue my Ocarina of Time randomizer. But thanks for all who tuned in today. Thanks for checking this out later on YouTube and Twitch. Hopefully it was a little bit insightful about coding and debugging. As always, love you guys. Jesus, love you too. I'll catch you tomorrow.